Hey everybody, welcome back to project number 12 here. Just getting a little soldering begun on my chassis. I'll go over it a little bit with you. So I'm doing an offset motor mount. So the motor's going to be way offset. I had to carve into the rail on the one side. I know it looks weaker, but I've done it before and it works fine. So that puts the whole motor off almost halfway over, giving a little inside weight advantage. I don't know if it really works or not, but it looks cool. So the whole rear axle is offset a little. I've got the tube through the bracket, motor bracket, and I've got my bushings inserted in there. I've already put a little flux into them. I'm going to solder those first. I did make sure to check the squareness of the bracket. That's something I know George talked about. You always want to make sure you check it. The slot car corner ones are usually pretty good, but you know, when you're messing with them, and that one I cut out a notch in the bottom, they can tweak easy. So it's just a good idea to double check it before you put everything together. So I got all this squared up, these two rails. This here is going to be where my drop arm attaches to. So it's a pivot. I used a piece of axle through the center of the tube and just drilled some holes in the side there. Makes for a nice drop, nice easy swing and drop. So I'm going to start here. This looks a little funny. It's because I use a spring from a pen, put a little pressure on it with two axle stops to keep my bushings in while I solder them. It's just a way I do it. And I'm going to put some weight on here, even though this is staying down nice and flat. This is a piece of nice steel that's perfectly flat. This is a piece of heavy copper from, I don't know what it's from. It was in a drawer of scrap metal that my dad had. All right, so I'm going to turn on my little evacuating fan here. Keeps the smoke out of my nose. And get our tip clean. Seems good. Alrighty. Everything should stay where it is, but I still like to hold stuff in place. We'll do this one first. Sorry if you can't see, but and my hope is that I don't bonk things and wiggle them around. Hoping the bushing and the shaft are going to solder all at once, and it looks like it did. It appears to have soldered the bushing nicely. So I've got the tube and the bushing actually flush with the bracket on this side because I want to be able to tuck my wheel in tight and have the wheel on the other side sticking out a bit. So I'm just going to rotate this just so I can get to it better. You know, I put flux on there, but and oops. You want to make sure you get a firm contact with both pieces of metal when you're soldering. I know it seems obvious, but for a while there I was having trouble figuring out why the heck my solder wasn't sticking well. When I switched to a different soldering iron, the angle of the head was different and I really wasn't getting it all in contact. Once I figured that out, solder started to flow again. Oh yeah, this is working good. Alright, so now, flux again. We'll solder the bracket to, oops, the rails. I tend to use more flux than I probably need to, but it's because it comes out of the tube that fast. Wow, this is awkward. Let's get this out of the way. A lot of times you can move the pins out of the way once you got things set up as you go along, because they do get in the way of your soldering iron. As long as you're pretty sure it's not going to go wiggling around. That's why I'm going to try not to solder your pin to your chassis, which I think, so there we go, moving along. Not a big deal. Oh, that spot's gonna be a pain in the butt. I'm gonna have to do that with a different tip. Let's see. Flux on this section here. So I'm thinking this is going to be a pretty cool one when it's done. I'm going to ask you guys what you think, because it's not live. Section. Not gonna work. I'm gonna change my tip. All right. Well, anyway. That's I'll put a little more solder back on this side. That's my motor bracket. The front end is just going to be a simple axle jacked up on top of another block, which puts it at pretty much the exact height it needs to be. Yeah, I'm going to put a different tip in there, solder that up in a few minutes, but for now, you can see where we're at here. So it's going to be like that. That is going to be with an offset front like that. And I've started cleaning up the body a little bit, shaved the door handles and the hinges. I gotta sand the sides, cut the hood out, cut the roof out, drilled some slightly crooked air escaping holes. I'll probably put a few more in there. That was kind of a popular thing to do back in the day with these coupes. Lighten them up and also let the air out that got caught in these square bodies, because the fronts, they didn't have windshields, they just have a window screen or something. So not everybody did it, probably didn't really do much, but it will look neat. So anyway, that's that for now, and I will keep you posted on as we go along. Thanks for watching.